Unless you're my new commander, it's gonna have to wait.
You're making things harder for yourself.
UC Security! Stop right now!
UC Security!
UC Security, you're under arrest. I've got special orders. You're coming with me. Prepare for immediate transport to our vessel. I've been authorized to inform you that you're being transferred to the UC Vigilance. You'll find out more when you get there. Other than that, I'm not at liberty to divulge any additional information. We have orders to transport you and your vessel to your final destination, the UC Vigilance. Any deviation from those orders on your part will be considered an act of hostility. Smart decision. Stand by to be transferred.
After you, Captain.
I'm telling you, the commander's got plans for this loser. Why else would he be going through all this trouble? I still don't understand why he trusts a criminal. Seems like too much of a risk. Stop worrying and keep an eye on our guest. I'll be right back. You just sit tight. The commander wants to have a little chat. The prisoner's ready, sir. I hope you're comfortable. We have a lot to discuss. I'm your ticket out of the mess you've gotten yourself into. Highly perceptive. Let me add that to your list of skills. Speaking of which, let's see what we're working with here. It appears that you have a background in cyber running. Perfect. Information gathering is one of our top priorities around here. I also see that you've mined on Vectera. And now you're with Constellation. You've certainly been quite busy. Oh, and look at that. Right at the bottom of this list is the criminal incident that landed you in my crosshairs. Huh. You're absolutely right. Well, I'll have my people get right on that. Now that we have that out of the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Commander Kibwe Ikande, and I'm in charge of this operation for UC SysDev. Are you familiar with what we do? UC SysDev is a division of the UC Navy. While they handle the big picture stuff, we deal with a very particular problem. The Crimson Fleet. That convict is where you enter the picture. No, you don't. Not yet, anyway. We've been prodding at the Crimson Fleet for years, trying to take them down one ship at a time. But we barely scratched the surface. If we can get someone on the inside, we'll have a shot at finding a loose thread we can pull. Not for me. For yourself. Look, I'm going to make this simple. Agree to work for UC SysDev, and together we take down the Crimson Fleet. Refuse, and I tell these guys to throw you into the nearest lockup. Might even tack on an extra few hundred credits to your fine. Well, first of all, we'll forget about the infraction that landed you on the Vigilance. Wipe the slate clean. Better still, depending on how well you do your job, we'll even kick in a few extra credits to offset any costs that the operation will incur. Or, you can throw all that away and end up back in jail with a hefty fine. I'm not coercing you into doing anything. So, what do you say? Smart choice. I'm going to have one of my men escort you to the operations center. I strongly suggest that you don't give him any trouble. And don't bother trying to leave the ship. I think you'll find all access to the docking area is fully restricted.
All right, let's go. So, you took the op instead of serving the time. Gonna be the commander's new role, huh? Going in all alone, infiltrating a bunch of pirates. You've got a lot of guts. Still, it makes you wonder, especially with the stories that go around.
Hey.
Like the one about how the fleet deals with informants by lashing them to the hull of a ship, and then slowly letting the air out of their suit. Could you imagine a worse way to go? I know I couldn't. But I wouldn't worry about it. Since the commander handpicked you, I'm guessing you can hold your breath for a really long time, right?
Conde's on level 2. Try not to touch anything until he actually clears you.
All right. This is as far as I go. Take the lift up to ops. Commander Conde should be waiting for you.
Howdy.
Excuse me. Ah, there you are. Excellent. Now that we've established your level of cooperation with us, I want to introduce you to your new home. This is the operations center of the UC Vigilance, SysDef's nerve center dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet. Which is precisely why we're taking a more clandestine approach. We need eyes and ears inside the Crimson Fleet. The catch is that you can't just knock on their front door and... I do. Our intelligence has managed... She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention. That's right. So it'll be your job to convince this person that you're the real deal. Once you bluff your way into the Crimson Fleet, then the operation proceeds to evidence. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Gillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know. We move quick around here. But remember, this entire operation rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson... Then you better learn to swim, because you're diving right into the deep end on this one. I've studied your profile. I know you can do this. Just use your best judgment. Trust. I wouldn't expect any less. Look, before you begin, I want, as an undercover operative for UC SysDef, You'll be allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of... That's what I wanted to hear. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details. Now, get out. All we know is that she's been with the Trade Authority for years, which means she's been privy to some seriously shady deals. She's shrewd and she's diligent. The only reason we were able to connect her with the Crimson Fleet at all, I'm afraid she's the best lead. For your own safety, nobody but myself and the crew of the Vigilance will... Basically, if you land in jail, you're going to have to deal with the fines. While you're running with the Crimson Fleet, you're undoubtedly going to be... It's going to be difficult for you to weigh the consequences. Do what you have to do, but remember why you're out there in the... Then you do what you have to do. The Crimson Fleet has the potential to kill hundreds. If it takes a few deaths to maintain your cover, that's why I expect you to constantly seek alternative Look, I can see that if there's a route to your goal which doesn't involve, use your instincts. That's easy to answer. You don't. We'll be monitoring your activities from the Vigilance, and when you feel you've gathered enough evidence, and at the completion of your assignments, head back here for a debrief. Beyond that, you're completely on your own. You have your orders.
Hey.
All right. We don't have a lot of time, so I need you to listen up. While you're working undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible. If you find any records that look suspicious or incriminating, you bring it to me. Well, you better. Commander Akande's entire operation is I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig. For the sake of the settled systems, that minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death. If you've seen what I've seen... That's all we're asking. Oh, before you go, there's one more thing. Commander Akande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return. It's not generous, it's motivational. All right. We've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Sear's ship. That should do it. We'll be here if you need us.
Hello.
Pardon.
Where are we headed next?
multiple leeches in the grav drive.
Suppose that would explain the brownouts. So, what's this going to run?
If there are no other surprises, mid-boxing.
Building Sidonia completely underground was a clever way of keeping the city shielded from the harsh Martian landscape. You look hurt.
Sorry?
Might want to head on.
What do you mean there's no blood?
Look at this place. I can't imagine being cramped down here, choking on the fumes and the dust. No trees, no grass. It's depressing.
If you're here to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy. Wouldn't be the first time I've heard that line. Oh, don't give me that look. I'm just having a laugh. What have you got for me? Whoa, way too hot for me. That stuff is nothing but bad news. Why don't you take your shipment and try somewhere else?
The Trade Authority turning away contraband. Now I've seen everything.
No, they're right. What they didn't tell you is that I have a self-preservation streak 1 kilometer wide. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well... You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember someone who might be able to unload that stuff for you.
Well, well. It appears she suddenly remembers everything. How not?
There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear. Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Been a long time since I've been to Mars. Sol system doesn't get a lot of traffic.
Can't believe we're still pulling up huge mineral deposits after all this time.
Unless you're here to serve me another drink, you can turn around and walk away. Hey, why don't you say that a little louder? I don't think every single UC guard in Sidonia heard you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can help you with this. If you've got a whole shipment of this stuff, you're going to need to move it fast. But you're going to have to do something for her. Yeah, well, she isn't running the show here.
Well, this is utterly ridiculous. Do we really have to jump through these...
Lady, if you want me to move that shipment for your pal here, you're going to do whatever the hell I want. You got that? Now listen up, because I'm not going to repeat myself. I need you to deal with a miner who's racked up a bunch of debt. He probably spent it all on booze. Feel free to throw as many credits in my face as you want, but that isn't the point. His name's Carl Fielding. I think you'll find him wandering around the Deimos miners' quarters. Don't worry, you can't miss him. Just look for the most miserable...
Sidonia is an industrial town. People there tend to be... conservatives.
I could never leave these people. Their continued success is my life's work.
Watch out for the robots. They're surprisingly sneaky.
It is now safe to resume normal activity.
say anything? No, Mars is nothing.
Something I can help you with? Hey, slow down. I don't even know what you're talking about. Adler, you said? Nope. Look, I'm tired. It's been a long day in the mines. I just want to go home, wash off the dust, and relax. Hey now. Take it easy there. Let me think about that person you mentioned. Oh, wait. You mean that Adler? Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about someone else. I told him I'd pay up next week when Deimos cuts our next profit share check. What the heck do you want me to do, then? Huh? Look, I haven't got a single credit to spare right now.
Perhaps he's already been through enough.
Holy crap. Really? Thank you.
This will lead.
Almost break time. Come on.
I have a pen pal in New Atlantis. We've never met in person, but she's still one of my best friends.
In order to avoid injury, please report any spills or unsafe conditions on the upper levels to the Sidonia Department of Public Works.
I sure hope this hearing loss isn't permanent.
Have something for me? There, would you look at that? I knew that bumfuzzle. He going to be a problem anymore? Nice, nice. You know, if you like this kind of work, I can get you more. You think you can handle running with my, associate? That's what I'm talking about. I like your style. All right. I'll call ahead and get a hold of Neva Mora. She's second to the big boss himself. Head out to Europa. You'll find her there. I suggest you listen to whatever she has to say. Oh, and I've taken care of that Aurora shipment for you too. Don't spend all that cash in one place.